Ever feel like drowning in productivity advice? Like it's just everywhere, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Today we're going to dive into a 22 Pasos del Éxito. This book by Enrique Moris Vega. He's like this digital entrepreneur superstar.
Right, right.
And he's figured out how to actually make success happen. So we're going to break down his, I guess, most like surprising and useful ideas so you can actually, use them too.
Yeah, and you know what's wild about this book is how Morris is like, hold up, doing more stuff doesn't equal like automatic success. He's all about super focus. Like, imagine an Olympic athlete, right? They're not training for everything at once.
Makes sense.
It's like, picture a swimmer also trying to run a marathon. It'd be a disaster.
Okay, so like just pick one thing at a time.
Exactly. Morris even took this to like a kind of funny extreme. He wore the same outfit every single day.
No way. Really?
Just to like cut out decisions and save brain power for what actually mattered.
Wow, that is dedication. Not sure I'm at the monochrome wardrobe level yet, but I get it.
It's about intentionality, right? And he takes this less is more to his whole life.
Like how so?
Everything from like planning his meals ahead of time to a super structured routine, he's automating as much as possible.
So he's got mental bandwidth for days because of it.
And the cool part is this isn't just for like CEOs and stuff. Anyone can use these tricks.
Yeah, that's true. So instead of being superhuman, it's more like getting organized.
Yeah, streamlining, systematizing, it's just easier said than done, right? Our world is so fast-paced.
For real. So how does Morris say we cut through that?
Well, he says most successful people, they're not like magically more talented. They're just really good at ditching distractions.
So they make, what, fewer but bigger decisions?
Exactly. It's working smarter, not just harder, you know?
Love that. But doesn't it apply mostly to, like, side hustles and stuff?
Not at all. Think about your main job. What's that one task, maybe even a big one, that you're putting off? The one that can have huge, ishy payoffs down the line if you actually focused on it.
Oh, man. Now that you mention it, there's a couple, right?
Morris, he talks about how he spent a whole year just making his product amazing. Didn't even market it hard, just perfected it.
Interesting. So he played the long game.
And that's what made his business explode later on. Sometimes slowing down is the fastest way to get where you want to be.
Makes sense. Measure twice, cut once, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of doing things differently, he has this whole thing about counterintuitive success. That's what this book gets juicy, right?
Right. He kind of busts some myths in this next part.
So he's like busting myths about what it takes to succeed, right?
Yeah, he's got this whole section where he's like, what we think is the right way, often totally wrong.
Like opposite of what actually works.
Totally. It's kind of freeing, actually. Like he's big on delaying gratification, which is hard.
Oh, tell me about it. So is Morris saying, like, hold off on the rewards even if it means slower progress at first?
Yep. Even if it means, like, smaller profits early on. He's playing the long game, building something that lasts.
Man, that takes patience, though. Especially these days when everyone's like, overnight success.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
Right. It's like a reality check for a lot of us, I think. This part really makes you think about, like, what's your relationship with success even look like?
Good point.
Are we like so obsessed with quick wins that we're missing the bigger picture? Morris is saying the long game, even when it's uncomfortable, that's where the magic happens.
It's that instant ramen versus slow-cooked meal thing, right? One's fast, the other's way more satisfying.
Perfect analogy.
And Morris, he does things differently with marketing too, right? It's kind of wild.
Oh, yeah. He's all about stirring the pot, like intentionally.
Yeah.
Thinks it's super profitable.
You mean like being controversial on purpose?
Yeah.
Even if it, makes some people mad?
Yep. His no tip thing that went viral a while back, classic Morris, got everyone talking.
It definitely got people's attention, that's for sure.
Exactly. And he even plans it out. Like he'll go on TV just to poke the bear, get people riled up.
Wow. Agree or disagree? Got to give him credit for that. Knows how to get people talking, that's for sure.
Right. Bold strategy. And you know what? It's clearly working for him.
He's definitely playing chess, not checkers. Okay, let's talk about his financial tips, because this guy's loaded, but he's still all about frugality. And not in like a coupon clipper way, but
more like he respects money. No matter how much he's got, it means something to him.
how does that play out?
He talks about, like, he'll wait till the last minute to book a fancy hotel.
Seriously?
Not because he can't afford it, but because he loves the game of getting a deal.
No way. So even on a luxury vacation, he's still looking for a bargain.
Oh, yeah. And he's big on sharing costs with friends, you know, on those big trips and stuff.
That's kind of cool, actually. Not just being cheap, but, like, resourceful.
Exactly. He
Wow.
challenges those ideas we have about like, oh, you're rich, you have to spend this much.
Yeah. Right. It's more about, what? Being mindful with your money, no matter how much you have.
Exactly. Every dollar, it represents your time, your effort. So wasting it. You're wasting a part of your life, basically.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
It's deep.
It is. And that takes us to, I think, a big part of his whole thing, building the right team.
Yeah, it's like you see someone like Morris, he's crushed it, right? So it's easy to think, oh, it must be nice, no big deal for him.
Right, like it was all effortless.
But that trading thing, that shows it wasn't a walk in the park, you know? He had bumps in the road, too.
Oh, yeah, he talks about that. What's cool is he owns it. Like, doesn't pretend it was all easy. Makes him relatable, you know?
Totally. Reminds us that those setbacks, they're part of the deal if you're doing something worthwhile. 100%. It's not about avoiding them. It's how you handle them when they inevitably happen.
And that's got to be where mindset comes in big time.
Huge GE. Morris talks about building this resilient mindset so you can bounce back stronger.
Fall 7 times, stand up 8 kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know, even with all his success, he still talks about being careful with money. It stuck with me.
It's deep in his philosophy, you know, that there's this line he has, don't spend money you don't have to impress people who don't care.
Ooh, that's good.
Right. Makes you think.
It's like we get so caught up trying to keep up appearances, but what really matters.
And that ties into the whole financial freedom thing, which for him, it's more than just like being rich. It's freedom to choose based on your values, not what others think.
So aligning your spending with your actual life, not just like showing off.
Nailed it. And he's big on separating assets from liabilities, which...
Okay, break that down again. Easy to forget which is which.
Assets, think of them like they put money on your pocket. Rental property, stuff like that. Liabilities, they pull money OUT, like car payments, credit card debt.
Ah, right. So it's not about what looks fancy, but what's actually building towards, a secure future.
Exactly. And what's amazing about Morris, he didn't start rich, you know? He built it all himself. Smart decisions, hard work, always learning.
So it's possible for like anyone who's willing to put in the work. It's not some exclusive club.
That's the point. It's about getting those basic principles of building wealth and then just consistency.
And believing you can actually do it right. That growth mindset he's always on about.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a ton from Enrique Moris Vega's A 22 Pasos del Éxito today. Big picture, what should stick with our listener?
If there's one thing, it's this. You're in control of creating the life you want. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the right time. Go after it.
Invest in yourself, yeah. And like he's shown, those actions, they got to line up with the goals. Otherwise, it's just busy work.
100%. Don't be afraid to, question the usual advice, experiment a little, take smart risks. But above all, bet on yourself.
I love that. Future you will thank you, right?
Exactly.
This has been fantastic. Really insightful stuff today. And listeners, we hope this deep dive's given you plenty to think about. Keep learning, keep growing, and until next time.
Cheers to success.